Taking a look today at our blue MGB motor. This is the one that unfortunately filled with water in storage. So I've taken the pistons and connecting rods out, and today we're going to be using the flex hone to essentially refinish these cylinders and determine if there's any deep pits or any pits at all. If there's no pits, I'll spring for a set of rings and put it back together and see what happens. If there are deep pits, I suppose I'll have to set it aside until I can consider reboring it, which frankly isn't that realistic. So my plan is, I've got the dish full of oil. I'll spin this in the oil to get it oiled up to begin with. I'm a little concerned. It looks big for the size of the bore. I think I got like a factory recommendation, maybe by email from FlexHone, as to which diameter to order. So I hope it's right. I've never done this before, but there's some combination of speed and motion that's going to create the best crosshatch pattern. So I'll have to learn quickly as we proceed here. So after first 30 seconds or so, I'm looking at the result. More than a crosshatch pattern, I'm kind of seeing almost a leather grain appearance. Got the flashlight shining on there now. I'm guessing the leather grain appearance is like the result of it having rusted. So I'll try again, and I've also got to make sure that I'm plunging deep enough to reach the bottom of the cylinder. Maybe I wasn't before, but we'll try again. So after my second attempt here, I'm starting to see, I don't know if the flashlight is helping or hurting here, but I'm starting to see a crosshatch pattern, but I'm mostly seeing just a circular pattern around and around. So I conclude that it's turning too fast and I'm not moving up and down fast enough. So I will try a third time and probably have to stop after that. I don't imagine overuse of this tool is a good thing either. So after a third attempt here, I'm starting to get X's. I think you can see it there. Not sure if I should stop here or do more. Why don't you hit it with the flashlight? I don't know if that's helping or not. Oh yeah, you can see it's making X's. I think I'll move to the next cylinder. I might come back to this one based on my experience with the other cylinders. So after just one attempt on the second cylinder, which I think is actually cylinder number 3, it's looking a lot scratchier. And although it is a crosshatch pattern, I am making an X. I think the wheel's turning too fast and my arms aren't going fast enough up and down, and I don't think my plunge is consistent with the reverse plunge, whatever you want to call that, the retracting. I'm not getting the same angle on the going down as the coming back up. Likely a matter of practice. But at this point, I'm going to move on to the cylinder number 2, which is the third cylinder, and Mr. Dead Spider is going to have to just move out of the way. Well, I think there's no doubt cylinder number 2, which is the third cylinder in our operation here, has turned out the best as I get more experience with using the flex hone. We've got a real obvious scratchiness here, and a good crosshatch pattern. Still not sure I'm getting the same result on the plunge, on the plunge as on the retraction. I think those angles look different, but again, it's only getting better as I proceed from cylinder to cylinder. So cylinder number 1, the fourth one we've honed, has a kind of a stain. It's making it hard to see the result of the honing. I imagine this stain is the first step towards pitting, but I can't hook my fingernail in any of this. I'm not sure the flex hone is touching the bottom of these stain marks either though, so that's a concern. And I didn't get a good scratchiness here. I don't know why. And if it's because I ran the hone too long, running it more isn't going to help that. But I think I'm going to try cylinder 1 that we're looking at now and cylinder 4 that we started with. Try and run the hone very slowly, maybe reduce the amount of oil, and see if I can get a better scratchiness, a better crosshatch pattern. I think you can see in this video there's a dark stain around the cylinder down there. There's these freckles, and then far down there's a dark stain all the way around, and that I can feel that it has a very different surface texture, surface finish than the rest. I don't know if I can ignore that. I think a wise person would not ignore that. I'm not getting a good, I mean, look at the scratchiness there compared to here. I don't know what I'm doing differently or wrong at this point. Maybe too much oil. I might try cylinder 4, which is the cylinder we started with. It might just be after a certain point you can't add scratches. The middle two look good. So this is a bit of a breakthrough. We went back to cylinder number 4, which is the first cylinder we started this honing project on, and with less oil and a slow turning hone speed, we've got much better scratchiness. I'm convinced of that. I remain concerned about this dark stain down there, and I may, I was reading in the hone instructions, which are quite brief, but it does say, at the very end you can plunge up and down and create your crosshatch pattern. So maybe I'll just dwell on that one spot for a while and see if I can smooth it out. I think that would be slightly superior to trying to get in there with some sandpaper and smoothing it out. So at this point, cylinder 4, 3, 2 look pretty good. They don't show deep pits that I can detect. this, sorry, that was cylinder 1. Here's 2, 3, and 4. They don't show deep pits, and actually what I was calling like a leather grain or a freckle kind of stain on the cylinder wall, it's actually mostly come off or been, braided through by the flex hone. But number 1, those look like pits. They're really, you can't hook your fingernail on them. They're discolorations, but they're not coming out. But deep in the cylinder, there's a dark band all around that, again, you can't hook your fingernail on, but you can certainly feel it's different than the surrounding metal. And once you know, it's the last one that I did the flex hone on. I was hoping for something really conclusive here, either that it would look great or it would be so bad that I would know I need to stop here. And maybe this is so bad that I ought to know I should stop here. I'm going to go back and hit this number 1 cylinder a last time just to give it a crosshatch pattern. I don't know if the rings are going to mate to that surface. That may be wishful thinking, and if the engine smokes, these days you could get a ticket or have the car impounded and certainly get dirty looks from other drivers. I don't know. I'll have to give this some thought. So at this point, I've used the flex hone on all the cylinders. The cylinders 2 through 4 look pretty good. I would put some new rings on and have confidence that that would work out on these 3 cylinders. But I think I have to face reality here. Number 1 cylinder, I'm not sure how obvious it is in the video, but there's a band all the way around, pretty deep in the cylinder, that the flex hone is not able to remove. It's a very rough surface, and I just don't think the rings are going to be able to pass that and wear it down into a good sealing surface. So anyway, at this moment, I think my attention needs to turn to the red engine. You can see in other videos. I think I wanted to get this one going because I purchased it in running condition, and then to my surprise it filled up with water, and now I don't want to say it's ruined, but it's a candidate for reboring. The red engine I bought, it had already filled up with water on somebody else, so that blood isn't on my hands. But I'll hone it just like I honed this one and see if the cylinders appear usable. That red engine happens to be bored 40 over with some brand new pistons. So hopefully I'll meet with better luck there. And this one, I think I'll just have to stash for a while. Thanks, and be sure and watch my other videos.